Angry MGTOW here. And women will suffer as the welfare state collapses and men go their own way. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? As the welfare state collapses, and it's happening now, we're going to see more and more of women literally walking away from feminism, essentially saying they had nothing to do with it, wishing to return to a more traditional time. As the mainstream media works to suppress what's happening, more alternatives will appear in terms of news coverage. The start of people standing against fake news is only the beginning. Twitter is a dying platform with their thought policing. Trump is anti-establishment, and for this reason, he is the best person for the job. Both the left and the right hate him, which means we are going in the right direction. They are trying to delay him as much as possible, but over the next 2 years, the fruits of his labor will flourish as the welfare state collapses. With the collapse of the welfare state will come unrest. And let me just say this, once the welfare state is dismantled, it will be increasingly difficult to put it back together as no one will want to pay for it. We spend $45 billion a year in HUD housing. This refers to Section 8, which is government subsidized housing specifically for single mothers or the disabled. However, it's specifically the vast majority of it goes to single mothers. We also spend $70 billion a year on food stamps. There are currently 44 million people on food stamps in the United States. We only have a population of 310 million people. Think about that carefully. And those are just two of the insane social welfare programs that we're financing right now. When you add that together, when you calculate just those two programs by themselves, that's $115 billion that we are spending every year that's coming out of the pockets of men to subsidize the cost for women. As these programs are cut heavily, along with Medicaid spending and various other cancerous programs, social welfare programs, men will keep more of their money in their pockets and women will scurry, searching for men to support them. But many will come up empty, as many beta males will find themselves just trying to survive as well and unable to afford marriage. You have to remember that when things are going well, that's when people get married. But in an economy where things just continue to get worse, it's a fact that most millennials will never buy their first home because they simply can't afford it. The boomers continue to buy as much property as they can so they can rent it back to us, the millennials. Think about that carefully. Younger millennial men, while they are faring slightly better than millennial women in the sense that they work more, they're not faring a whole lot better. Many are still saddled with student loan debts, and they are not in a position to take care of a family. I see a lot of MGTOW on my channel saying this will never happen. The government will never cut social welfare programs. There will always be beta males that take care of women. Women will always have someone to provide for them. It's this very logic why we are in the situation we are in today. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5. That's the cancerous nonsense that we've learned from Common Core math, which has infected society. If women do not have the government to rely on, if men are just having a hard enough time getting by, they are not going to get married. Even the beta males who do not call themselves MGTOW, who say they want to get married, will not be able to. A lot of guys are going to say, well, these women will just set their expectations lower. It doesn't matter how much lower they set their expectations. If they set them too low, they'll end up with thugs, trash, men who have no value, who they'll end up having to support. A lot of women will end up having to remain single or living with their parents or in shelters or homeless. A lot of men listening don't believe when I say nothing lasts forever. Money doesn't grow on trees. We've been printing it endlessly. And when we print more money, it adds to the national debt. And what the politicians do is that they come up with all these crazy things to say, okay, well, we'll pay this money back later. When is later? Think about that carefully. It will catch up on us. It is catching up on us. One of the major things that people don't understand about money is that when you keep printing money, it devalues the actual value of money. And if you keep printing it and printing it and printing it, and you can't repay it, this is what we call mass inflation. Prices will go up as the value of money goes down. Think about that carefully. Too much money in the economy is not a good thing, believe it or not. I know you're going to say, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. You see, it's good to have money in the economy, but when you're just printing the money and there's nothing that backs the money, besides goodwill, the money begins to lose its value because money is just another form of an IOU backed by the government. As shit hits the fan, I've said it before that it won't be society that collapses. It will be people that collapse. It will be people who find themselves without options. Young people today are saddled, especially women, with student loan debt. Massive amounts of it. And they're increasingly taking out more and getting these useless degrees. There's a thing called adulting school right now that's being run by a psychotherapist or psychoanalyst, where she teaches millennials how to act like adults, the basic living skills, how to make a bed, how to fold sheets, how to make a grocery list, how to change a fucking tire. Very basic things. Forget even changing a tire, how to make a bed. A lot of millennials don't have basic living skills. And it's funny because I see all these keyboard warriors saying, never going to happen. It's just going to keep on going. And they just don't understand. We're seeing things collapsing around us. We're seeing shit going to hell. But no one's talking about it because the mainstream media says everything's going great. Let me tell you something about life. I was born in the 1980s. 33. I'll be 34 eventually this year. And the thing is that we were born into 1984. We were born into the dystopia that George Orwell described in his book 1984, The Police State. The irony is that we can't foresee anything outside of it. Do you really think that these rich and powerful people are trying to end the world? No, they're not trying to end the world. They're trying to control the world. They want all of it. They want all of the money. They want access to every penny of it. Think about that carefully. But these people aren't incredibly smart. They're just conniving, organized, and devious with deep pockets like George Soros. But they are not gods. They do not have a magic ball. They cannot foresee the future. If they could, if they had complete control, Trump would never have won the election. Men, you have to understand, we're entering a new age, a new point, a new time in society. Something that women have not experienced before. No generation, the boomers, millennial women, Generation X, none of them have ever experienced what is about to happen, which is the complete collapse of the welfare state. Any pullbacks on food stamps, any pullbacks on Section 8, any pullbacks on Medicaid will have substantial effects on society, but specifically women. Men don't use the healthcare system anywhere close to the amount that women do. In fact, women will have a $150,000 negative effect on the economy. Every woman in the United States will have a $150,000 negative effect on the economy in her lifetime compared to men. Because men don't use resources, not at the rampant nature of women. Women cannibalize everything, and it's just more and more and more. Women were born into privilege. They don't even realize all the things that they have. But now, things are changing. It may not seem that way because we've lived in a dystopia for so long, but things are changing. And as they lose access to the welfare state, they will have very few options, very few places to turn, very few people to rely upon. What do you guys think is going to happen to all the student loan debt that these women have taken out, that they've burdened themselves with? What do you think is going to happen to all of that? Think the government's going to just forgive it? You got to be kidding me. Government's going to get every penny. These women are going to be paying these student loans off for the rest of their lives. There's no easy way out, guys. There isn't. Women have essentially made themselves wage slaves, and they don't even realize it. The government got what they wanted. The bankers got what they wanted. Division. They wanted to create a new set of workers that they could tax, and another group and get women to pump even more money into buying useless shit. They did that. Men and women are more divided than they've ever been. The thing is that if you have too much chaos, then the plan falls apart. What we're going to see is not a full front forward. We're going to see a reversal, but it will happen gradually. And as it happens, women will collapse, not society. Women will collapse. As I said it, people will collapse. And as society collapse, as social welfare programs fall, women will suffer. But men will not come riding in on a horse to save them. Nor will the government. Because they've made their beds and now they will have to lay in them. I just want to remind you guys that I make 3 of these videos every day, so please consider clicking on the Patreon link on my YouTube homepage, or you can also find a link to my Patreon in the description of this video. And there's all these incredible rewards when you become a Patreon, but it helps to ensure that I could continue to put out quality content for you guys each and every single day. So please definitely leave a Patreon. Leave a pledge via my Patreon. You can become a Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And that ensures I can continue to make quality content for you guys. So definitely check that out. And also don't forget to enable notifications by clicking on the notification button below every video, any of my videos, and extend to the subscribe button. When you click on it, you'll see a pop-up that says send me all notifications for this channel. Just hit the checkbox, hit save. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. This will ensure you will never miss another video whenever I'm live streaming or whenever I put out a new video. And again, if you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree that women will suffer as the welfare state collapses and men will not rescue them. Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers!